I'm waiting to exhale. Let's talk about that, okay?
Oh, the UV rays love to see you coming.
Because the thing about me, I hate to brag, but I have been hit by multiple vehicles since living in New York.
Oh, you said you're keeping up the misogyny. Okay.
They needed to have a bowel movement.
I shouldn't even be speaking this language.
Black mothers know that Channing Tatum's got the sauce, for real. She just needs to sell some YSL Beauty. You know he was like, okay, you ate that, but also I'll kill you.
I don't know her. I don't support this. We've just met here today.
So I'm back and better than ever.
Say more.
Could you tell? Did I come in with a glow?
Do you go to the Tooth Gym?
No, but I'm getting a grill soon. More on that next week. But this week, Hunter, I'm a city bike bitch.
Oof.
I'm moving, grooving, zooming down Myrtle Ave. I'll tell you that. Have you ever found yourself... You're too high class. You ever found yourself on a city bike?
No, I'm too afraid to. You've actually been like a living cautionary tale of why I will never get on a bike in New York City.
Yeah, I will say what I'm saying now, if you know my lore, is really brave because, and maybe dangerous. Because the thing about me, I hate to brag, but I have been hit by multiple vehicles since living in New York. And when I say I was walking and got hit by a bike, and I was biking, I got hit by a car. And then I was driving, and then I got hit by a FedEx truck. So nevertheless, she persisted, okay? I'm a survivor. Thank you very much. It got pretty diabolical, like fracture. You remember.
This all happened to Kanye and he made it through the wire. So where's your contribution?
It's this podcast. This is my, let me say this is my through the wire. Because like you would never believe the month that I had when my jaw was wired shut and my skull was fractured.
But looked skinny as hell.
Oh yeah, literally
like body was no Boston Harbor.
Throw me in the Boston Harbor. Actually, one of my friends, Marty Miller, did say to me, break my jaw, bitch, you look so snatched. And then our friend Hilton was like, we do have to remember this is a glorified eating disorder. Like this is not a choice. Like Peyton's not like doing a new workout routine. Like she got hit by a vehicle.
Did you get money?
Not a dime. No, not a dime. Thank God the worst time that I was hit, I was on my parents' health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
God bless.
Mm-hmm.
Take me back to being on my parents' health insurance. But yeah, so no money, but I'm reaping the rewards now.
So do you like move different on a city bike now that you've like gone through the gamut?
Yeah, like I'm the only person that deserves to be on a city bike because I'm the only one that deserves to have my records on. I'm Corinne Bailey Ray. You should see me. I look so gorgeous in a dress, zoom in. The e-bikes are fun. The e-bikes are fun. Too fun.
I thought the e-bikes were made illegal because people were like kept flying over the top.
No, that was, I think, the Revels. Do you remember the Revels? The like motorcycle?
I swear these were the city bikes too, though, but I don't know.
Oh, well, I actually, every time I get on one, my first thought is time to invest in a helmet, Peyton.
You ride without a helmet?
Mom, if you're listening to this, I promise I'm ordering one on Amazon right now.
Not going to victim blame, but
no, you should.
A lot of things
victim blame.
Now making sense.
You should victim blame, and of course I get on, and one of my first thoughts is like, second thought after the helmet is this would kind of be fun lit, like a little Aperol spritz and a bike ride.
I'm just gonna lift you up in prayer and like.
Get your mom on the pod next week.
That's so scary. That's so scary.
I'm sober when I do it. I just have a little toxic trait like that where I want to die when I'm on the road. Tune in next week to see if Peyton is alive by the time we do this podcast.
No, this would go crazy in a Law and Order like cold open. Mm-hmm. This would go crazy.
And I don't know what the crime on her side.
Yeah, I don't know what the crime would be exactly, but it's like don't like right now, and it cuts to like your body outlined in chalk on the ground, like.
Or what if I was the killer the whole time? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's my whole personality now, and I love it, and it's just made my life so much easier. Like could you imagine getting from Fort Greene to Greenpoint is actually easy. It's actually 15 minutes. There's actually like a bike path. That's the thing. New York, when it's
a bike path down where?
Yeah, down Kent actually.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I was it's actually, and it's like a dedicated bike path, not like a fake one. And so that feels like if Eric Adams wanted to finish the job, it's only bike paths in like 3 parts of Brooklyn and everything else is a free-for-all. Anyway, it's like when you're on a safe bike path, I could imagine it being the time of your life, like the whole ride. But half the ride is amazing. Half the ride I'm fearing for my life. I love a cheap thrill. And it's cost effective. $200 a year.
Oh, I was going to say, don't they like take out a ton of money just in case you like don't return it?
They charge you $1,200 if you don't return it. It's the cost of a bike, I guess.
Dang. Now I see why people they'll take a city bike off the street. They'll snatch one if it's not put away, like locked in properly.
Yeah,
now I see why.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. I'd be shoving that shit in. Make sure I hear the click, and I'm like, you're not going to play with my wallet, my dime. Yeah, what were you up to this week?
I don't think you're ready for this. Oh, God. You know that Azealia Banks tweet from like maybe 2013, 2012, when she's like, I shouldn't even be speaking this language. I should be like tongue clicking on the top of my mouth, like speaking something different. Like I should be in Africa right now. That's how I feel about the US Open. I shouldn't be in these chairs right now. I shouldn't be talking to a microphone. I should be at the US Open.
You should not be in Times Square right now.
No, like my man needs me. Excuse me. Ben Shelton, we're holding it down. Coco Gauff, excuse me, just won today. I should be Arthur Ashe.
And
you already know this, but I simply took an Uber here so I could download YouTube TV in the car so I could watch Tiafo Shelton. I am so obsessed with I should get mail at Arthur Ashe. That's how much I've been going. No, excuse me. I got on my knees and prayed someone get me into a box, and as my mom said, won't he do it?
That's what I was going to say.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Faith.
By the grace of God and Athleta, thank you so much, I watched Coco Gauff from Sweet.
So let's talk about that manifestation, that prayer that you did. So like break it down. What was the prayer? The actual prayer.
It's Sierra's prayer, but I will say more effective.
The Instagram story bullying someone.
I said, through every medium I had access to, I said, I'm looking for a US Open box tickets. I'm looking, can someone bring me into a box?
You're going door to door.
Door to door. I'm going like manger to manger at this point.
Workout store to workout store. Athleta picked up the phone.
Going up and down Bedford Avenue, like going up and down the block, saying, please, for the love of God.
E-biking down Kent. Yeah.
No, I like, oh my goodness. I was moving different too. I put on my little Athleta pants.
Cute.
Little tank top.
Yeah.
I went with our friend Zara. She simply took the worst photos that have ever, actually second worst. Worst set of photos were taken by Luke. Yeah.
Is it hard to go out without me?
It is.
Yeah.
But I was going to text you, but I thought that you were busy. For some reason, I thought that your thing tonight was on Wednesday.
But that's your gospel though. Like you are not about your gospel is like going out looking great and not getting the proper photo.
Yes. Oh my God. Who will deliver me from that? That takes more than prayer.
That's why Hunter invited me on a girls trip, was literally just to make sure she got the shot. She was like, I won't be got again. You're going to get me right, Peyton. And I did.
No, at one point I said to Zara, I put the phone like front facing and I started pressing recording a video, and I said, you just hold it and just let me figure out how it's going to be. And I said, I want you to step back a little bit. I want you to just angle up a little bit. No, let me say this. I love tennis. What can I say? I love watching people achieve their dreams when those people are Black American tennis players, and Jasmine Paolini.
Which
Italian
so many.
X.
Oh, okay. Right. You know I'd be rocking with the Italian X's and the Irish, actually. But so many Black people in tennis.
Yeah.
More than ever is what I was going to say, but I'm historically always more than ever because, slavery and stuff.
Yes. And due to Andrew's white privilege, we fully cut a really long line. And I felt bad, but listen, my team needed me. This was yesterday.
Yeah.
When I
back
was
again.
With people during the day. What else did we see? I love a honeydews. All the cups in my apartment. You're going to come over.
Oh, is that the drink?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's Grey Goose.
That's it? It's just a shot?
It's Grey Goose, and it's like it's kind of like a lemonade, but like with something different. Girl, I don't know. They put some cantaloupe in it. I don't know.
Oh. Ew.
But it in a refreshing way.
Oh, but it looks like tennis balls. Is that why it's green like that?
I don't until 30 hours ago, I thought they were grapes that were somehow peeled. So this is news to me, I
wow.
guess.
Yeah.
There's also this like tequila Paloma that is by a tequila brand that I've never heard of when I'm not at the Billie Jean King tennis center. I don't think this tequila brand exists in real life. But what else?
Who are you rooting for? Who's your number one stan?
I'm rooting for everyone black.
Okay.
I'm rooting for everyone black.
Issa.
Except for Tiafo. Yeah.
Oh.
Except for Big Foe. And let me say this, because tell me why I watched a video of this man putting on sunscreen, and it gave me the ick so bad. He had some sunscreen. He just did a little bit like this and a little bit like this. I was like, oh, the UV rays love to see you coming. Like, have you ever watched a man put on sunscreen?
It's always nasty. And it's always with the full either it's like that, like such little application, or it's full palm slapping the shit out of their face.
Okay, you know that girl, the makeup girl, Meredith Duxbury?
Yeah.
Like, you should be putting on sunscreen the way that she, like, puts on foundation. Like,
correct.
On your whole face, on your eyelids, on your lips, everything. And
bathing.
Just watching Tiafo put sunscreen on, like, he was using, like, Lemme, like precious gold. I was like, sweetheart, slather that La Roche-Posay on all
like it's
over.
a retinoid. Yeah.
No,
wait, that's crazy. And then what's crazier is that's the reason you don't like him.
That's not the reason I don't like him. I don't like him because he's not focused.
Oh. The spirit of my mother just entered the room.
I don't know why I'm pointing.
Yeah.
No. Oh. I feel like Clay's mom from Love is Blind. Like, I love her. Anyway, so if you're looking for me, you know where to find me. I'll be in Queens.
A sentence you would never say outside of the U.S. Open, but
that's not true. I love Queens.
Oh,
there's so much good Greek food in Queens.
Well, I'll find you in Queens, babe.
So I hate to bring us down.
Uh-oh.
But this week we're talking about Blink Twice, the Zoe Kravitz movie, and we'll be talking also about Nara Smith. 2 summer bummers, I'll say.
2 light-skinned legends. Don't forget that we have a bonus segment that drops every Thursday only on Wondery Plus. This week, we're talking about what the shows we're rewatching right now say about us. Derogatory. And yes, of course, I'm a Samantha Sun and a Charlotte Moon. So subscribe to Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts if you want to check that out.
So let me just say this.
Let me say this.
Are you looking for a home for your worst opinions?
Are you a hater first and a lover of pop culture second? Consider this a glorified group chat, but we're not calling you out. No. We're calling you in. It's a safe space.
To talk shit.
But of course, from Wondery, I'm Peyton Dix.
And I'm Hunter Harris.
And this is Let Me Say This.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
Hunter and I made the brave choice to support our light-skinned sister. Well, that's your sister. Is she biracial? If she's biracial, she's my sister. Zoe Kravitz and my man Channing Tatum in their new film, Blink Twice.
Now, why am I in it?
You always Captain Stories with me, baby.
Now, see,
always.
Oh, you dragged us. I ain't even did nothing. No,
Yeah.
And let me say this. At some point, I think I just like threw back my head and laughed.
I couldn't even be moved to do that. I couldn't be moved to do that. I couldn't giggle.
No. Okay. So Blink Twice is Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, and she co-wrote it, and it stars Channing Tatum and Naomi Ackie. And it basically follows a cocktail waitress, like cater waiter, who meets and is sort of romanced by a freaky Elon Musk type billionaire, that's Channing Tatum, and he flies her and her best friend out to a private island, and it becomes a little bit like Get Out meets Bodies, where it's like a murder mystery slasher.
We are talking Blink Twice, so if you don't want any spoilers, skip, I don't know, like 10 or so minutes. But if you do want the spoilers and you do want the tea, you better lock in and keep listening. Okay, I will say what brought me to the theater was not Zoe Kravitz.
I know what brought you to the theater.
What? Don't say
Channing,
that like
Jamal, Tatum. I know it was. And let me say this. I remember when I vividly, speaking of my mother, I vividly remember going to see She's the Man with my mother, and my mom said, who's that? And I said, that's Channing Tatum. She said, oh, he's got a little black in him.
Mm-hmm. And she would be correct to say it. Black mothers know that Channing Tatum's got the sauce for real. Because you know that video of my mom watching Magic Mike XL, the movie that woke
Yes,
me up
yes,
to my own
yes,
sexuality.
yes.
Where my mom was like all of a sudden kind of just grooving, watching them dance along. And then when I tell you the glasses came off, when a Black brother takes her glasses off, that's when you know.
And I was going to say, my mom also, listen, Mother's Intuition, we were watching Call Me By Your Name, and she said, who's that actor? I said, Armie Hammer. She said, he's about to have some marriage problems. And now look.
Well, I wish I went to the theater and got to take my glasses off when I saw Channing on screen. But that didn't happen. I mean, it wasn't just Channing that brought me to the theater. I honestly love their relationship. I think they're so fun. I think like the press that's been around this movie has got me, like, made me sit up.
You're talking about Zoe and Channing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I sat down.
Yes.
And then I almost walked out.
I liked the trailer a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of had like really high expectations or really high hopes. I really like Naomi Aki. I really
love.
Yeah, I mean, I like Channing Tatum as an actor. I also thought that like this sort of subversion of someone who seems has such a willingness to be like subjected to the female gaze in Magic Mike, in She's the Man, in, you know, Step Up, in any Channing Tatum movie.
Yeah.
He's such a good romantic lead. So I was excited for, you know, this kind of darker turn, if you will. And then I started watching and I was like, a lot of ideas are not connecting. I felt very, very much like Kamala Harris. Okay, so there's some teachings that need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's some learning that needs to happen.
Someone that could have benefited from Emerson College.
If you say Emerson College one more time on this podcast, I swear I'm getting up and leaving.
Sorry. Okay, so what was your main takeaway?
I just felt like, okay, tell me how you feel about this. Because this is like, maybe I'm being too like nitpicky about it, but I felt like I had the same problem watching Blink Twice that I had watching Saltburn, that I also had watching I don't know what else, where it's like, I am not buying into like the premise enough that this is enjoyable or like covetable or anything like that. So that it kind of takes away from like the turn that, oh my goodness, they're on this island and like they're actually secretly like raping and assaulting and, you know, exploiting these women. But it seems so lovely on the surface. So you understand when Frida, the main character, like why she wants to stay so bad. Like the island just seemed honestly smelly and raggedy.
I couldn't agree more, because I also think not only did it look kind of mid, it looked like real Holiday Inn to me, but also they weren't doing anything. Like I felt like it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm laying out, I'm taking time off, I'm vacationing, but the only cuts to them doing anything in spirit together was them running through the woods in the middle of the night. I think like I wanted to see some sense of like joy and play, so that the payoff, spoiler, when they get their lick back, if you will, some of them, not all of them, the women at least, that I would feel vindicated, that I would feel like, yes, they got, you know, I'm on their side and I'm seeing some redemption arc, when really it just honestly seemed like suffering the whole time. Like if I was with a white girl that smoked that much weed in a week to a month, however long they were there, that's a horror movie to me alone. I just felt like I wasn't invested in any of the characters except for Channing and Naomi Aki holding space. Like great performances. I think she has a perfect face for horror too. Yeah, I love her face for horror.
But that's
her
what I'm
big
saying.
Eyes.
I think the horror of it all was like connecting, but it all felt kind of empty because I wasn't invested in, like, there wasn't ever a sense of loss. Yeah. Like once it kind of turns and you realize that, oh, this is like really fucked up and we should hate Channing Tatum and, you know, all these other people are complicit in this. I felt like, okay, and so what? Like all of the establishing shots of like how this was supposed to be like the best time ever, the most fun vacation ever, it all happened in montage so rapidly that I had no real investment in like, oh my gosh, Simon Rex is like in on this too. Like I'm supposed to hate him now. I was like, okay, like whatever.
Hard to make me hate Simon Rex.
I know.
That's my guy. That's my man.
The other thing that I wasn't so into is that by the time, what's her name? Maybe from Arrested Development.
Oh, Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yes. Love. By the time she like dies, is taken away, I felt it came like too late in the narrative for me, where I'm like, oh, that was like the biggest sense of loss I felt in the entire movie, but it comes so late and then everything else happens so quickly that they're putting together the pieces of exactly the way that these women are being like drugged and kind of made unconscious and made to forget everything that's happening to them. That happens so fast that I'm like, wait, so what are the rules of this world again? Like they are drugged by perfume and like snake venom is like the antidote, but then how I don't know. And then honestly, one more thing. I thought the ending, like this turn where Naomi Aki kind of outcons Channing Tatum and then gives him the magic potion to make him forget. And then she like takes all of his money. I was like, this is stupid.
Right. Like it ends with her in a bob.
This is very like, oh, freshman seminar.
Yeah. Yeah. And what actually was crazy to me is to think that they were almost going to call this film Pussy Island, when there's a lot of sexual assault, if not entirely sexual assault, back and forth in the, you know, jump cut scenes to like what they all forgot about. Well, it seemed like that would have been, I mean, it tested poorly, obviously, but I love the title at first, actually. That's when I was first hooked in. I was like, oh, Pussy Island, like, I'm getting a first class flight. Like, and I just thought that would have been really dumb, marketing wise.
I mean, yeah, I think you can't open a movie called Pussy Island. It's like,
Watch me.
That's not okay.
Watch
but
me.
I did profile Zoe Kravitz for the Wall Street Journal magazine, like around the time, like right before she started shooting, like literally the week before they went to Mexico to start shooting. And she was like, we really want the name because she felt like Pussy Island is like what Channing Tatum and his friends would call it, that they're going to Pussy Island. And it feels sort of cavalier and like, you know, chauvinistic.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think Blink Twice, you know, really worked as a title ever, but I was just very disappointed by how sort of simplistic, and it just seemed like a lot of steps were taken for granted. Like I never really even bought the attraction between Slater King and Frida, where I'm like, what does Frida see in him other than that he's rich? Yeah, and he doesn't even like act that rich. He doesn't like act that cool, like do anything that cool.
I also feel like for her character, everything we know about it, it makes no sense that she would be even that intrigued to be around like this type of person. Like that's what I'm saying. Being like, I know him. Like what? In what world would like this regular, very clearly annoying guy hook you into a random rich guy? But you were like on a Survivor show and you clearly seem to have some level of sense and like at least nihilism, where you as a woman would not be interested in a space like this.
No, because I'm sorry, that villa looked raggedy as hell. You know, mosquitoes all through the bitch. Yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry. I
had to think they were eating and drinking so much. I know they needed to get some exercise in. They needed to have a bowel movement. There's no way you're just sitting. Sorry, I was thinking about the logistics of that. I was like, I really want them to like get a run in or something. But the main takeaway for me is that Zoe Kravitz will always be too big of a Nepo baby to be an auteur. She just needs to sell some YSL Beauty.
Well, she did sell me in that Touche Eclat, which is just highlighter for under your eyes, which was fucking nothing. But anyway, I do think that there are two very, I think, clever parts. The nails growing out, where Frida is a nail artist, and you can like watch through the movie how like her nails grow out so much that it's like, oh wow, she's like actually been there for so long, like longer than they're like losing time. I thought that was like a very clever little, like that's like a sleight of hand thing. It's not like what will sell me on this movie.
I said, okay, go ahead, give her flowers.
At the end of the day going to end, and I will continue loving Channing Tatum's Instagram presence.
I have to say, more Channing Tatum in everything, because one of the best lines in the movie, brunch is real. Period.
What?
Period. Oh, I loved that scene.
That's so what you, that was the whole movie. That's what you liked, and you didn't like. So it seems like you love this movie then, because the whole movie was that dumb. No offense.
No, I loved that.
No, I'm sorry. The movie lacked like the genuine playfulness of what I like about Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum together in real life. Like the actual like, thrill of seeing them together and how like fun they seem to have.
Channing Tatum more than Zoe Kravitz, but yeah.
He is the fun.
Oof, he is the fun for her. Maybe. Channing Tatum's low-key kind of light skin if you think about it. Think about it.
Open your mind.
Turn this on.
Chestnut checkers. No, I don't do the cooking, and no, I don't do the cleaning. That's not true. I clean all the time.
You don't cook.
Well, we have different gifts. We all have different talents. I'm playing to my strengths. Excuse me.
Hunter made me a pasta once that made me say...
What? That was years ago. That was years. You need to get over it.
Okay.
Respectfully, enough.
It sat with me still, years later.
That was when I was living in Chinatown. That was so long ago.
But you clean girl, you go off.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that I would make a bad tradwife.
Mm-hmm.
So tradwives, if you have not been on the internet lately, they are married women who prefer to live with like old school gender roles, like women belong in the kitchen, kind of. The most famous one is a woman named Nara Smith. And I don't know if you've heard her. And then I told the certified.
Today, Lucky came home and he was really, really hungry.
My
So
kids
I-
were really asking for some homemade Rice Krispie treats. So I said, okay. And I got out my little bowl.
My kid wanted gum, so I rolled out the stuff. I don't even know, actually. What the hell?
I don't even know you started making gum.
Yeah.
But Nara Smith is famous or infamous for making, anything from scratch. Like
Anything.
she's made Twizzlers from scratch.
She's literally made gum.
Oreos from scratch.
She's made hair gel.
That's like nasty. Like, no offense. I would never. I would
Yeah.
never.
Mhm.
And then she also makes like regular, like, I don't know, schnitzel. She's like German, so
Sure.
she makes like actual food too. But she is a lifestyle creator based in Texas. She's married to Lucky Blue Smith,
Mhm.
who you've definitely seen. He's like the hottest male model of 2014.
Yeah, he was at least. He was everywhere when he was at his peak, for sure.
Yeah. Like icy blue eyes, like
Mhm.
blonde hair, very like James
Pouty
Dean
lips.
look. Yes.
Mm.
And they now have 3 kids. Nara does ASMR, making videos, and also kind of models. But
Don't I kind of model? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
okay,
Okay.
pretty privileged. And let me say this, I'm tired. Enough is enough. I am tired of the tradwives. I'm tired of the videos, the cooking videos. I'm biased. I just don't like the sound of her voice. I don't like the sound of her ASMR video stuff. It sounds gross to me.
Yeah, well, the irony in that is like I actually like her regular speaking voice. Like I think when she does interviews on
Yeah.
camera, her regular speaking voice just sounds like a girl from LA. I've spent this whole podcast, it sounds like being misogynistic or something. But I like the sound of Lucky Blue Smith's voice better, actually.
Oh, you
He
said you're
sometimes
keeping
does-
up the misogyny.
I'm
Okay.
gonna keep it up. Yeah. I just might as well see it through. You know what I mean? Get canceled by the end of this. Don't worry. But he sometimes does little like takeovers, and he like did one recently for her SpawnCon. And I said, I like the sound of this.
How
actually.
does he even speak with a toothpick in his mouth? Like it's 1950 and he's in a whites only section of a cafeteria.
Only lesbians should be able to have toothpicks in their mouth. That's my feeling. But Lucky Blue Smith actually is a beautiful lesbian woman if you pull back and kind of squint. I see it. Some important context to the trad wife theory of it all is like Lucky Blue Smith, people forget for some reason, had a kid even before his marriage with Nara Smith. He had a kid with his ex-wife. I'm pretty sure they were married when he was 19,
Mm-hmm.
which makes like the, I don't know, sometimes silliness of the way people talk about trad wives a little spooky to me. And the way that the marriage of it all and the 100 babies of it all is like this weird through line in their content that makes it a little less accessible for a girl like me who's gay and not interested in like children.
Well, Lucky Blue Smith and his family are like very like hardcore Mormon.
Are they for
Yes,
sure?
yes,
I thought it was
yes,
just
very for sure.
undertones of Mormonism.
No, they are all very Mormon. And Lucky, with his previous partner,
Yeah.
has a daughter
Mhm.
named.
Oh, let's talk about the names. Let's talk about the names.
Wait,
talk
I
about the
hate
names.
that the first child is like getting the John Mayer song stuck in my head.
Gravity
Oof.
is working against. Wait, I can sing. I think we need to talk about that more. So, Lucky Blue Smith's first child's name is
You can sing just like your sister Camila Cabello.
Yes, that's my girl. First child, Gravity. Other children's names, these are now with Nara Smith. Rumble Honey. Okay, so sit with that. Slim Easy. What in the Tupac Shakur? And Whimsy Lou. So If that's not a red flag, I don't know what
I
is.
don't, listen, Hunter and Peyton.
Cool boys.
But yeah, people automatically think that I played lacrosse when I went to Princeton. I love to switch it up. But this is like ridiculous. I mean, this is like Rumble Honey.
I don't believe in two names as a first name regardless, but Rumble Honey. What in the Rumpelstiltskins? What?
I just think this all amounts to like what feels like such a performative kind of falsely perception obsessed life, which is that like Nara Smith will make these elaborate recipes, make these videos in like $450 dresses, like fully wearing like gowns sometimes. And it just sets a like this is like not domestic labor. She's not like changing diapers. She's not like actually doing housework. She's just like cooking spawn, which is fine. But there is just like this undercurrent to like traditionalism that feels so put upon and false in a way that I just like cannot stand.
I think like my brain, when I think about her, does two things. Like one, marketing genius, right? She's like doing this baby voice. She's like, it's clearly like almost like a character that she's putting on. It's really easy to sell against. She uses the same 3 trending audio tracks on TikTok. Like it's smart. Like she's created, we've talked about this, like a very, clear formula that's really easy to sell against. It's really easy to build a following off of, especially as a light-skinned, tall, skinny model. Again, I'm using that word loosely.
Curled model.
Loose girl, 3CS girl model with your white husband. Like, I'm not saying that is what she's thinking, but like, I understand how easy that formula is for her to exist with.
You understand how she goes viral.
For sure.
How it's like easily repeatable content.
Am I interested in it? No way.
How long have you been following her? Just out of curiosity.
I actually don't even know if I follow her.
Oh, wow.
I started seeing her content through, not on TikTok, actually. Like it was by that point repurposed onto Instagram or TikTok with like people dragging her or making the meme of it being like making like a shoehorn from scratch, like making a brain cell from scratch. Like it was very, that's when I was I would like one brain cell, please. And then I started seeing her ad content and I immediately was like, this is smart. Like I get like making a Marc Jacobs bag from scratch. Like it's smart.
I've been like in the trenches. That's why I think she's lying about her age, because I've been following her for so long. Like I remember like watching her like post about when she and Lucky got married. This was like pre-pandemic, yeah.
How old is she allegedly and how old is he allegedly?
I think she's allegedly like 22. I swear she's like 26 though.
Okay.
I mean,
I might take a note. Hold
that's
on.
just
let me see what I can get away with.
No, we love being 30. Be quiet. But I don't know. I really liked because she would like post about having eczema and like stuff she would do to her skin.
Oh yeah,
like soothing, like skin soothing stuff. And that when she was making like oatmeal for her skin, and that was like the beginning of it, I think. But now it's just totally morphed into like this larger tradwife kind of traditionalism movement or moment.
Yeah.
Moment.
It's like these radicalized anti-feminist ask. Her and Ballerina Farms are like linking a building. Like, come on. Sorry.
There was a tradwife piece in the New York Times by Amy X. Wang that I wanted to bring up. And the writer writes, so here we are, stuck in a proxy war over a gingham apron. The tradwife outrages people indistinguishable from the non-tradwives. Cooking videos have come out, and any issue of Good Housekeeping. Nara Smith's pregnancy selfies mimic the model Emily Ratajkowski's, right down to the impish poses, dim exposures, and pretend droll captions. I don't necessarily agree with They Got Bad, but I do think it brings into this conversation like the way that maybe a Doan dress or like a, I don't know, the kind of like, Paige Lorenz, like the dairy boy, kind of like fetishization of like homesteading, of like living the countryside, how this all I think is a part of a larger trend that's interesting to me.
I mean, I made the joke earlier, but I actually I don't find it necessarily like anti-feminist, obviously. Like if that's, let your freak flag fly. Like if that's what you want to do, I don't think there's any need in like shaming women for making that choice. But there is obviously an inherent harm when like you reach a certain amount of eyes that are now, I saw a reaction video to Nara Smith being like, when I was 22, like I barely could get out of debt. Like I didn't have a husband. Like it's, wait. wait. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay
That's what I'm saying.
to be in debt and not have a husband at 22. Most people are. Like, and they should keep it
Some
that
people
way.
are still.
Some people are still without a husband and in debt. Like, but yeah, it feels like, okay, well, where is the line and where is the responsibility? And that answer I don't have, but like, it's a question that comes up.
I think that's what's like giving me the ick about it all. That it's just like, I don't know. I'm just skeptical of the whole like lifestyle of it all, I guess. And I wonder too, like when people glamorize like Black girl soft life, I'm like that. Like I hate to see a soft life bitch coming. Like,
I'm waiting to exhale. Let's talk about that. Okay, I was like, no.
Well, you know what I love to say?
What?
At the end of the day going in,
no, we can't.
A lot of that food looks unseasoned. Be serious. Be serious.
Yeah. But also, allegedly, she steals recipes from smaller creators.
Yes.
Big on the allegedly. Nara, don't come for us. But
I wouldn't know firsthand. That's what I've seen on TikTok. That people alleging that she's stolen their recipes. I don't make recipes, so
what would I know? But like the funny thing is, it's like they don't even seem like these intricate recipes. They seem like when you like allrecipes.com, like the most baseline. Like there's no razzle dazzle. There's no like, tuck it in with love kind of thing.
Whenever she says the word citric acid, I'm like, bitch, who, where?
That's not my business.
No.
Not my church, not my ministry.
I'm going to keep with my Allison Roman little newsletter recipes and keep it moving.
Let me go ahead and get some anchovies, in fact. Okay, last time we talked about Industry Season 3, we were, fresh off of attending the premiere, brag. But this time, sorry, that was nasty of me. The LA leapt out, but I'm a New York girl now.
I don't know her. I don't support this. We've just met here today.
We got paired together. This is a chemistry test.
Jeez.
But now we are talking about Industry Season 3, and we're talking Harper time, aka I like to call it Peyton time. Heads up, if you haven't watched Industry Season 3, first of all, grow up. And second off, maybe skip ahead. There will be spoilers.
Spoiler heavy episode today.
I know.
Ooh.
We're in the know. This show is about 20-somethings, these junior employees at an investment bank and the way they do drugs, hook up with one another, have daddy issues, and somehow keep their jobs. For the most part. Not all of them. But that's who we're following.
I would say actually pretty famously, the industry cast is really like dropping like flies. Like they're all slimming down. The cast gets smaller every year because people they rotate in and out of the bitch.
Oh my God. No, the turnover at that establishment needs to be under review. People are coming in and out. That's crazy. But
I'm like leaving a review on, what is that? The job website? We can like leave reviews on your
Backdoor?
Yeah, no.
Wait, whoa.
No,
wait,
not Backdoor.
Whoa. Glassdoor.
Yes. Their Glassdoor is crazy. Maybe the Backdoor too.
The Backdoor too.
I am historically mixed on Industry.
Okay.
I think it's good but not great. I think that there is a kind of like self-consciousness to the show or like self-importance that I really don't like. I think this is a show that is best when it's about Harper and Yaz and their friendship, the two like female leads of the show, and Eric, their boss, who I love. Like that dynamic between the three of them where they're trying to like stay friends, but also like kind of one up one another.
Yeah.
That was like mostly season 1. Season 2, Eric was like not really in it. It was more about Harper and like her family issues, which I was like, girl.
Her brother did crack.
Yeah, like get to
Her brother
work.
did crack.
Like go back to the
and
office.
then she did crack and then made it to a Monday morning meeting.
Yeah, and then also like did a little bit of just a touch of insider trading.
That happens.
Yeah, I mean, but I like this season a lot because I think this season gets back in the pocket of what is the best dynamic on the show, which is Harper and Yasmin's friendship, and then Harper, liking her boss Eric, like wanting to impress him, and then just like wanting to fuck him over, and that's what episode 3 was really about, and I thought it was great.
And how both can be done at the same time. Because he was like, okay, you ate that, but also I'll kill you.
Yes.
That's the feeling I'm hoping to elicit out of most of my interactions. But I love Harper and Yasmin's friendship so much, and I haven't seen the rest of the season, but I have heard that we get way deeper with that relationship in a way that's going to be, hopefully, really exciting.
Yes. So a big part of the drama this season is that Yasmin's dad, who did some light heavy fraud, heavy embezzlement, is on the run. And we're seeing in flashback that Yasmin and Harper were on a yacht with Yasmin's dad, but like no one knows where he is. And I've seen fan theories that they think that Harper and Yasmin conspire to kill Yasmin's dad, and that's what we're seeing in the flashback, but we haven't actually gotten to.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen that theory, but like I was wondering where my guy is at. I mean, I didn't seem in that last episode when she was like, how could I miss him when I hate him?
Exactly.
In a way that was so emotive that I was like, oh, it seems deeper than he's just like in Ibiza or something, you know?
Which I don't know.
Oh.
Like them linking and building totally makes sense, but I kind of wish that if that's where the season is going, that we would have found out that they did the murder, and then it's like, can they get away with it, and not trying to piece together, did they do it or not? Because that's a less interesting turn for me. But I am really liking though how we've seen Harper, like, and Eric, her boss, like that push-pull dynamic. And now Yasmin and Eric are becoming closer, and she's becoming kind of Eric's new favorite. And I wonder if that will make Harper turn on Yasmin because she doesn't like the closeness between Eric and Yasmin, or if it will make Eric turn on Yasmin because he doesn't like that she's so close to Harper.
Right, because I was going to say right now their dynamic, it feels too easy because they just got a one-up on Eric, kind of like co-conspirating on the side to essentially finesse him, right? And I feel like that high that we felt, it's like, oh, that's gonna trickle out in some way.
Yeah.
But I love when Eric gets his lick back. Sorry, God, I really am misogynist this episode. I am Harper. I look like her.
Let me say, I would be Eric's piece. I would be his tradwife. Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning for Eric. That's my man.
You call Nara Smith and you're like, actually, girl, can I take some notes?
Girl, let me get into the turkey baster, whatever she does with a big wooden bowl, wooden ladle. I'm just saying kitchen
You're just
words.
literally,
I don't know.
like in your head, I saw the fires burning inside your brain. This show is doing what I think it's meant to be doing, which is educating folk like me, young, youthful, Gen Z, cusp-minded folks to grow up and watch Succession, actually. Because I'm watching this being like, oh, if I'm liking this so much, if I'm really invested, as some might say, in this world, do you like what I did there? That now I would really enjoy Succession, a show I famously didn't watch. Cultural blind spot.
I hate to bring up Kamala again, but okay, so there's some learnings that need to be done,
and that's why they made the show.
There's some teachings that need to happen. Okay,
and I'm ready to open the book.
Have you seen that the Kamala Harris TikTok where she's talking to Mina? They're in the kitchen and she's like, "You need to learn how to fucking cook."
No,
Kamala to her niece. Yeah,
Jesus.
That's how I feel talking to you about whether you should watch Succession.
And most things.
My goodness,
Yeah.
I think that industry is a little bit, I don't, at the end of the day, on Succession, the actual business of it all, because it was a family business, had a lot to do with characters' outcomes, their emotionality and their emotional payoffs. Whether the Gojo deal goes through or whether their Fox News thing, goes off the air, that was real stakes on the show. And that's the thing about industry that I don't really doesn't ever connect for me, is that I don't really care what happens to any of these businesses. I don't care if
the actual work.
Yeah. I don't care if the Kit Harington energy company, if it goes south or if it opens high or closes low or whatever, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to see Harper and Yasmin linking and building. I'm just here to see they're Thelma and Louise. And the rest of it is okay, whatever. I mean,
I feel the cheap thrill of being oh, thank God they closed at 50% for 200, blah, blah. And then I'm oh, but I still don't really know or care what that means. Yeah. And I feel Succession might do the thing where it makes you, it sounds care.
Yeah. Well, it actually has a lot to do with the plot.
Not too
that
much.
sounded so bitchy.
Not too much.
Listen, quiet as it's kept. Yeah. And the other thing is that humdrum ass Rom. Ooh.
And not too much.
Do you know talk about, what was that, the blue girl from Inside Out? That's who
Sadness.
he is. Yes, I hate to see him coming. I'm oh, great, a Rob scene.
Okay.
He's been through so much and still he shows up to work. So he puts on a little tie. I'm girl.
Out of all people, how does he still have a job? No, literally. I will say though, I understand him as a character, and unfortunately I'm putting this white boy behind me something we have to hold space for is this is a show not about finance, but about mommy issues and daddy issues. And I think he has both, actually.
Yeah.
He's bisexual in that way. But I feel like he's doing the thing, and the only reason why he's hired, and also the only reason why he's on this show, is like he appeals to like the girl that wrote Tumblr poetry. He does. His character does.
You took it there.
His character does, and he, as an actor on the show, does. I'm like, oh, like, you know, not me being like, you're for me, outing myself as a poetry Tumblr girl, which
When
I was.
I see him, I'm like, oh, I know Gracie Abrams goes crazy
Feral.
on his Spotify.
Feral.
I know he's listening to, what was the one after Folklore?
Evermore?
Yeah, I know. Oh, a bitch who loves Evermore.
Oh, no. He's like, oh, I love Boy Genius. Like, that's what Rob is doing.
And see, that's why he and I don't see eye to eye. That's why we will never get along.
Yeah, all the black people, he remains, but all the black people on the show somehow kind of
drop
disappear.
like flies. Drop like flies. Oh my God. It's like they're doing, black people in the show do like horror movie numbers. First to get out. Like first to go. So we're talking about this after episode 3 has aired. By the time this comes out, we'll have seen the Rishi episode, which seems to be very influenced by Uncut Gems.
I am sitting up straight. Oops, excuse me. Let me adjust. I'm sitting up straight for a Rishi ep. This is a Rishi house.
Yeah, I'm a Rishi believer, but I guess Rishi was Josh Safdie's muse when he was making Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. That was Rishi, not Julia Fox. I actually was on a Reddit page, a sentence I never say publicly, but for Industry HBO, and they had reposted this Industry's 20th episode should be read and directed as if a new bar has been set for borderline unwatchable tension. It's an episode of perpetual movement. We are always with Rishi. We should feel the knot in his stomach, the stress tightening his scalp, the adrenaline dilating his pupils. So I feel like we're in for it. I thought you loved Uncut Gems.
I do. I loved it enough to leave it alone. I loved it enough to watch sports and close my computer, not to sports bet. No, I don't. That's what I'm talking about. That's stuff I just don't like. It's like, okay, Uncut Gems exists already. We don't need to make a whole episode of it on television on HBO.
God forbid a man of color take a stab at the role.
Oh, here we go.
Just like a light skin. Nasty. Well, that's it for this week. As usual, we are 2 online, so you don't have to be.
And that's exactly why my ass is not in the kitchen, because I'm 2 on the internet.
And Channing Tatum, despite that review, I know you follow me on Instagram, so please don't hit that unfollow, baby. I'm still with you and your girl.
Channing Tatum, come right over here. Come over to this side, please.
Let me say this.